Hello, how you doing, Miss Sue Miller? First one online today to say hello. How you doing? Finally getting here. Got a lot of things done today. God, I got a lot of things done today. Not much in the garden in the way of gardening. I've just been buying. There's something I need to get to set up my rain barrel system. It's called is a valve that fits into the gutter and allows the gutter to fill up the drums. Once it's full, it diverts it. It's called a diverter valve, and it diverts it and it comes back out the normal way where it would just come out of the gutter and straight into the yard. So I'm waiting on getting that situated. Is there anyone else that said, I know that is what garden day is? I know it was garden day. I am sunburned. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, my goodness. I tell you one thing I will say is that my allergy is not bothering me as bad as it was last year, only because the fear of the coronavirus is somewhat behind me. So, you know, completely vaccinated and everything. So the thing about it is, if I have a light do like that, I don't go, oh my God, I got corona. I don't do that now. If I do that now, it's I'll say I'll be okay. Hopefully, the way things are today, you never know. But I got everything lined up, ready to go in the garden. And the weatherman gave me some bad news today, maybe about 10 minutes ago. He said the weather's still going to dip this weekend. And after that, he said, hopefully that'll be it. But he says it's going to dip again. Now, think about that. I want you to think about this for a second. The weather said that the last frost date here in Maryland was the 15th of April. Let that sink in for a second. Now, I usually go, from that date, I go 2 weeks more. Well, I've done that. And hello, family. Hello, how you doing? Hello. I got a family here. They just come in and they just drop in and say hello and everything. So that being said, is that the weather's going to dip, which means I got to take these plants, bring them right back indoors. I'm having, I had a couple of surprises in the yard, which is the kale is growing great. I'm gonna keep feeding it and doing what I normally do. And so they like this cool weather. They enjoy it. The grapevines are doing good. Everything's doing good except one surprise. I have 3 containers, large containers set up on my property that I put my ginger in. I'm growing ginger this year. Some of you that follow me on a regular know that I'm growing ginger this year. Purchased quite a bit of ginger to grow, actually. So got the ginger going. Ginger still looks great. I see these strange looking, in the containers, strange looking leaves coming up that I know aren't associated with ginger. And lo and behold, it's potatoes that was left in the soil from last year. Little tiny little potatoes are now producing plants in with the ginger. Interesting. So I don't know how that's going to turn out. I do know that potatoes can take up quite a bit of space. So can ginger. Ginger can get really big, especially the way that I feed them. They'll get really big. So I looked at that and I said, oh my God, every container has potatoes in it. And I thought that I cleaned all the potatoes out, but I was picking them up. They were little tiny ones like this that overwintered in the container. And I removed them, but obviously they had some in there that was this small, maybe, or whatever. Maybe it was some rooting material that found its way into the sunlight and decided to grow. But at any rate, I'm going to see what happens. Potatoes. I love the way the potatoes taste that grow from the garden. I love potatoes. However, the fact that they're in with the ginger, I don't want my ginger to be stunted because the potatoes are taking up space. Ginger is the crown crop there, in my opinion. Yeah, ginger is a great crop. I mean, I grow it. I started back growing it because I feel that people like it, and I might be able to give some away for a small donation to help me keep the garden going. So that's it. I'm talked out. I got me a number of projects going on. I got to get, like I said, tomorrow is a cleanup day. I got to get those plants back in the house. The what they call them. Got to get the corn, and I got to get the tomato plants, pepper plants. Definitely come back in. I might take them in the night. You might just take out the potatoes and plant something else. I am trying something new. No dig potatoes. It was given. Let's draw. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you doing what I did. You doing what I did a few years back. I grew potatoes in just uh, well, I used leaves. I didn't have the hay. I used the leaves. No, I think you said hay. Let me see what you put there. Straw. Okay, straw. Straw is better. I'm drinking more water now because I did a little, uh, put me a little filtration system on my sink in the kitchen, and I like it. I like water. That harsh taste is gone, and I know that it's a better deal. But I'm trying something, and it's okay. Okay, let's see what we got here. Love never had any garden fresh potatoes, but I'm trying them this year. Only thing I noticed about the potatoes that I grew one time and I really liked them is that I baked them and they were creamy when you put butter in them. And wait a minute, I think this year I might try them with butter and what's that called? Sour cream? Yeah, yeah. It's something I always say to a good friend of mine. I just that just. But at any rate, and yeah, they're creamy. Excuse me, folks. Excuse me. I've been in the house. I have a weed trimmer that I'm trying to put back on the road, and I'm not going to throw it away because any weed treatment, any weed trimmer that you leave in the garage for 3 years, and you pull the cord a couple of times, and it starts right up, deserves for you to invest something into it. So it's going to get a fresh spark plug. It's going to get more of the air filter is going to be put back on it, and it's going to be put back in business because I looked at it. I said, this is 17 length, and I need to do something else with it. Like it needs to get another, that guard down at the bottom of it. What's that called? That cuts the line and everything. I need another one of those put on there. I need another one of those because it was vibrating and it dropped off the screw to the other one, and then I eventually lost track of the whole unit. So I'm just going to buy another one. Store potatoes taste like chemicals to me. See that, Miss Miller? You better stop reading my mind because, I mean, it does. That's what they taste like something's wrong with them. When I first tasted potatoes that I cooked, they were creamy. The ones I grew, they had a down to earth, rich, full flavor, and that's when I said. So think about it for a second. The potatoes that I'm growing now are potatoes that was in that soil mix, laying there all went along outside in the soil. Didn't kill them. They were in the soil. And so I'm learning something from that because if push comes to shove, I can get all the potatoes I want, set that soil up, leave it there all winter, and the potatoes stay in there. So when the spring comes, they just come up on their own. I don't have to go out there and replant them or find storage for them in the house. I could just have them come up on their own. The real tiny ones, I mean, it worked this time around. Why shouldn't it work again? I mean, they came up on their own. I didn't have to do anything to them. Potatoes, folks, potatoes. I was hoping to either something more green on my bed, mix up some compost and a couple raised bed. I think also right now. I hope that people that are gardening now don't make anything that they're doing in that garden complicated. Trust me when I tell you it's not. It's not complicated. I have the best soil on earth, I feel, because of one simple technique I use, and it's called chop and drop. And it's wonderful stuff. I'm now hooked on it. I don't care about the other techniques because chop and drop have shown me something. Chop and drop showed me that it could take my horrible, horrible soil, which is clay, when I first started gardening here, and turn it into a loomy black, pure deal. And in the back of from the wall to where my fruit trees are, there's a whole bunch of weeds that come up back there. Weeds and what's the other thing? Vines. And when I let them come up, they produced nothing but pure, beautiful, um, pure beautiful. I got to say that again. Um, just soil that was incredible. And I got to thinking, I said, wait a minute, because I saw people, you have the videos they put up and they do their own deal the way they want to. They'll grow onions, they'll grow tomatoes and okra and all this other good stuff. And then at the end of the year, they clean up their garden. They take the vines and they take the pieces of whatever they grew, fruit that they didn't use, and I leave all that stuff on the ground. I leave it all on the ground. I leave everything right there. And then when spring come back around, it's gone. Why? Where did it go? The bacteria, soil biology, used it. Because I understand now that let's see what we got here. Somebody just hit something. Say hello. How is everybody doing? Mooney Gardner. Thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. And please don't just say hello, and I want you to participate if you feel like it. Ask some questions or throw some information out there from what you're growing. Come up with some ideas that you thought about doing in the garden. Somebody out there, maybe me, I could use some of that information. And we just pass it around and try to help each other out. The thing about it that I love about gardening is that you don't have to, if you choose to, spend a lot of money to do it. Now, there's people on here I've seen, they got these beautiful gardens I've seen. Oh my God, they 85, 25, 35 cents. Hello, Morning Gardener, and everyone in the chat. Thank you very much for stopping by and saying hello. I appreciate you. Okay, welcome to this year's smallest gardening channel. Yes, I'm proud of that because this is a seclusive channel for only the finest gardeners in YouTube, on YouTube. And they decided to stop by here, and I appreciate that. Let's see, my garden is already getting sunburned, so I'm going to have to invest in some use sheets of. Wait a minute. Let me see what you got here. Let's see. Let's see. My garden is already getting sunburned. Wow, how are you getting? What kind of plants do you have in the garden? I said, so I'm going. You have to invest in some used sheets for shade. I wonder what you're growing because let's see now, because it hasn't gotten hot here yet. And a lot of times when we plant things, we actually create a situation. We actually created a situation. Let me give you a good example. A lot of us grow peppers incorrectly. No, 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 I'm not poking at nobody. I'm just telling the way it is. They go a pepper plant here, 10 or 12 or 18 inches away from that, they put another one. Then they'll go up a little further and put another one. And they put them in a straight line or whatever. And that work and they say, okay, this is gonna work. But let me just say this to you. If you put peppers closer together, and peppers, by the way, like being planted closer together. So if you put them like 9, 10 inches apart, and you put them up, three here, 9 inches apart, three here, 9 inches apart, you will not only save space, but when they grow, they'll create shade. They will help to protect themselves from the scorching sun. So that's why I threw that out there. If you plant them correctly, they produce their own shade. Another thing I want to point out, um, if you have, because it took me a while to get a lawnmower that has a bagging option on the back of it. And what it allows me to do is cut my grass and use my grass clippings as mulch around the bases of my plants. Why do I use this instead of going and buying straw or hay or anything like that? Because number one, I don't have to transport it. Number two, I don't have to spend a big money on it, buying that stuff. I don't want to do that. I want to use what's already in the yard if I have it there. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see. I have been called crazy, but old lady gardener when I use my weeds as compost. Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Use your weeds as compost. Let's see. Let's just see, throw them out. Okay, first of all, weeds are simply biomass. They're just simply plants that we don't have the names of. They're just plants, and they make excellent compost. They make excellent fertilizer. That's the name of that tune. So people are always going to say things. I mean, they're going to always say, but the bottom line is, when winter comes in, if you see the way nature does it, watch how nature does it. Winter comes in. When winter comes, let me get this way. When winter comes in, weeds fall and hit the ground. That's what they do. They lay on top. They turn brown, and guess where they go? Back into the ground. What do they do when they go back into the ground? They feed the soil. What is the benefit of feeding the soil? To keep the soil alive. So nature already figured this out before we did. Nature already did this deal. So I respect the older lady because it's a new concept to her. But weeds and me are friends. We are friends. Weeds in my yard do a couple things. I would do a number of things, but one, they keep the insects off of my plants because the insects prefer the weeds. They just do. So while they're eating the weeds and the grasshoppers and the crickets are eating the weeds and the spiders are going after the grasshoppers and the crickets and everything, and I look on my plants, I don't see any kind of small tiny insect life. I don't see any bite holes in leaves, and I'm thinking, who ever heard of growing corn, growing tomatoes, growing peppers, and the plants look pristine and they don't have any holes in them because of the fact that the bugs are eating the weeds as opposed to eating your plants. They don't want your plants. They'd much rather have the weeds. So the weeds, as a great diversion, and that's another reason why I grow them. Another thing I have above my yard is a mulberry tree. Now a lot of people will actually go out and buy a mulberry tree. I don't care for them, don't like the fruit, don't like anything about them. They drop all this red stuff all over my car and everything, and the birds eat it and everything. But here's what I found out about mulberry. When the weather changes and they get time for mulberry time, the birds eat the mulberries and stay off my cherries. They also stay off my apples. They stay off of my peaches. So I'm happy. Work smart, not hard. Work smart, not hard. Let's see. Try to plan summer heat resistant. Okay. Uh-huh. 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 Mm. Wow, there's a lot of people joined in here. I like that idea as well. Yep, idea as well. You like the idea. Let's see. Yes, make your own fertilizer tea with weeds. Make your own fertilizer tea with weeds. I've been saying that for 150 years. It's a great thing to do. Let's see. Let's see. As it's already super hot here already. Miss Miller, it's 90-degree days and 80 degrees in the evenings. Wow, that's pretty warm. That is pretty warm. Let's see. So things is gone. Um, Now let me explain something else about heat. When you are getting extreme heat and you have mulched around your plants with grass clippings, I've said this for 400 years. I've been saying this. The weeds do not come up through the mulch because they need sun. They need sun. They say, please, where's the sun? And they die. The other thing is that when you put the mulch around the plants about 2 inches deep and you put about 15 inches circumference, what you're doing in this sense is you're creating a barrier to keep the sun from heating up the soil around your plant to 140 degrees. And you just want the soil to be a comfortable 75, maybe borderlining on 80. And you want to do that. You want to keep the heat down at a level where the plants can continue to grow. See, because when it get really hot, a lot of plants will say, I'm not growing right now because it's too hot. It's like when you go outside, you'll say, I'm not going running today because it's 105 degrees outside. No, I'll wait till tomorrow. They say it's going to be about 75 degrees. The plants do the exact same thing. Their biology tells them when to do certain things based on their environment. I hope I'm not getting too far ahead of anyone here. Let's see what I got here. Let's see. And another thing is that when you do not when you mulch your plants, you don't have to water as much. That saves you right there. And when you're not watering as much, you're not washing away your fertilizer. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, my friend. Well, I guess that's it for me today, folks. This has been the Morning Gardener Show. Because I get on here sometime and I apologize. I talk you guys' ears off it. And you're like, oh my God, why don't he just, so I just want to, apologize for that. So I don't mean to talk your ears off. But I love this stuff. I live this stuff. I breathe this stuff. I think about it day and night. I can't sleep. I can't eat. And even some, let me put it like this. Let's say a lady friend met me and she said, I like him. His glasses are cool. What's going to happen is I'll have a couple of conversations with her and then I'm going to say something to her like, oh, I garden. And right then and there, she's in trouble because I'll talk about gardening sometimes. And I don't mean any harm. I just love gardening. I can work gardening into any conversation. A person come to me and say, yeah, I bought a new car last week. I said, what kind of car was it? Oh, it's a Ford. They got pretty good sized trunks. And he said, yeah. I said, you could put a lot of garden supplies in a trunk that size. See how I worked that right in there? I just love gardening. I just love it. It also plays a part in one of my vehicles that I bought, which is I bought a tiny little Jeep, and the Jeep has got this hatch in back, and I've been bringing home garden supplies in that thing forever, just forever. Let's see. Same thing when I come to gardening conversations. Oh, you do the same thing. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's say you are passionate about your garden. Yes, I am. I thank you very much for you picked up on that. Most people say the guy's just crazy. It's just freaking crazy. No, it's just that I love gardening. So you can live and eat your garden and come back next season, laugh out loud. Yeah, I tell you, it's like it's a it's a habit that will feed you. And now I got a couple trees. Here's the sad part: I got a couple trees I got to take out, but I got to figure out why these two trees failed. They're peach trees, and they started turning black, and um, they're partially alive, and they got fruit on them this year, but they're not coming back from this. Whatever got a hold of them, I got to investigate it and find out what is going on here. Why is this tree? Um, Half the tree is still alive, and half is is dead. And I said, yeah, this tree is dead. Half of this tree is dead. It's got to be cut out. I got to find a way to remove it. So I got to, because I never removed the tree and took it out while it had strong roots on it. So I want to remove it and put another tree in that place. But I don't want to put another tree in that place if there's something in that location that killed that tree. Trees are gone up in prices. They had a couple drop in 3 trees or 4 trees. Don't hold me to that. About 3 or 4 trees that are on. What's the name of that place called? Stock Brothers, that are on sale. And I looked at the trees and I said, wait a minute, look at these. They're $26. And some of them are dwarfs. And I said, but they had them $50 a couple of weeks ago. Here's what they found out. They know that people are growing more of their food. They know this. You got people like Miss Miller out there that gardens year in and year out. And that being said, you're going to see people that will, like myself, I'm getting heavily now into saving seeds and stocking up on seeds because I need to do that. Because I keep year in and year out, I'll grow something great, like it'll be a tomato that somebody grew a variety of brandy wine. Okay, it's a variety of brandy wine. And I'll like that brandy wine, and I'll say, I'll get the seeds next year. No, you'll meet a person selling a brandy wine, but let's say they had it on their property and it crossed with a Cherokee Purple, it crossed with another type of tomato, but they're still calling it brandy wine. You follow me? They're still calling it brandy wine, and you'll buy it, you'll like it. You won't get that variety again because that person will stop selling it on eBay or whatever, and you won't get it. Now, when you go to the stores and buy what you buy from those seed companies, they're making everything hybrids. Just about everything's hybrids. That's why you don't see on the packaging it says this is a heirloom. This is a heirloom. You see hybrid, and another one called open pollinated. And so you need to keep your seed varieties of things that you really truly like. Like for instance, I gave away some seeds this year, and he said to me, it's called popseeds.com. And so popseeds.com had a bit of a time getting a hold at that time of okra seeds, according to Steve, okra seeds. And so I'm thinking, wow, okra seeds. I said, I like okra seeds, but I already had bags of the stuff. Luckily, I had bags of the stuff. And I'll be growing some flowers this year. I paid an arm and a leg for some sunflower seeds. No, I'm saving the seeds of these this year. I'm not going to be going to people and paying an arm and a leg for sunflower seeds. Now, these will only get about 4 feet tall, I think about 4 feet tall. That's fine for me. I don't need the ones that are 15, 20 feet tall. So I just want to tell everybody how that works. Wow, when my camera just went blurry like that? It must be high, dude. Let's see, what's it? Seems like black mold. Also seems like maybe too humid. And Now you on to something here when you say it seems like a black mold, human and let's see, cultivar. There's a hate resistant to one more variety of peaches. Need cool after. I had in that area. Now you own to something because that area stayed dark all summer. Why? Because I had a tree that had the audacity to grow straight out and block all those trees. It blocked apples. It blocked the peaches. It blocked uh, the cherry tree. It blocked them. And when it blocked them, I said, I need to get a tree cutter in here. And the man came in here and he laid a whooping on those trees. He backed all that stuff up away from everything I got, and he didn't damage any of my trees. He didn't damage, and they were right underneath where he was working. He didn't damage any of them. He didn't damage any of my trees. And I will go back to that person if I need trees cut again. Not only did I had a regular tree cutter that I should get all the time, which was American Tree Cutters. Nice guy, they do the work. But he came in, he wanted me to move my boat, and he wanted me to, move the cars out of the driveway. This guy said, just move the cars out of the driveway. I said, okay. And the boat stayed in the driveway. And he worked around it, got everything put in. And when he finished, you hear me when I'm saying, when he finished, I was happy because he took all of the tree branches away and everything, ground it up. He put it right in his spot. And trust me, when I tell you the spot that I had him bring that big truck into, it's hard to get a truck up through there because it's always wet and it's always full of water. No matter what time of year, it'll get full of water. I even stopped driving my cars through there because I had the town car get stuck once. Hell, I even had the Jeep get stuck one time. And I switched it into four-wheel drive, and I was lucky to get it out of there. When I backed up, I eased back. It was slipping like I don't know what. When it got up out of it, I said, okay, memo to self, don't put your vehicle back up in there again. Don't put your vehicle back up in that yard again. That is a pretty boy if your Jeep got stuck. That's a pretty big. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it locked the Jeep up in there. Jeep was wheels were spinning and they were sitting in water and mud. And I said, God darn it. All right, put it in high, four-wheel drive. Click, click. And then that eased it back and it came right out of there. And I said, okay, that's it. That's it. But they got the truck up there. They put these large, huge mats down and drove it, moved the mats, drove it, moved the mats. And they did the same thing going out. They poured all that stuff up in there, ground it up, and then put the truck back up in there, dropped it, and drove off. And here's something I did I'll never do, right? I went ahead and paid them before they finished. Because when they got about halfway done, I saw everything was already done. And I went online, I called their company up, and I said, yeah, they pretty much cleaning up right now, so I'm going to go ahead and pay them. And she says, okay, all right, here's information. All right, I need to do this. And she did it. They didn't even know they were paid. And then when it was over with, he said, okay, everything looks good to you? And I said, yes. And I said, you'll be on my gardening show. And they said, oh, thank you. And sounds water. Yeah. When I did that, everything was done, so, and the soil over there is just, soil in that area is just pure clay. That is when I put chips in a water spot. Yeah, I could do that. I could put chips in there, but as long as it dries out to a point where, all I got to do is keep the grass cut in that area because I don't plant anything up in there. I tried years ago and everything I put in that area died because it was just pure clay soil, and, pure clay. And I said, wow. And I bought those plants and they just died. Yeah, back in the day. I remember that. But now I'm in a situation where I got all my gardening locations. Got my second garden. The soil is being improved. Got my first garden, my large garden, and all that soil is pure black, pretty soil. And it is great soil. All I do is, and to make the soil pretty, is I go back there with the weed trimmer and I just cut everything down and leave it. I do it every year. Do it twice a year, 3 times a year, and I cut everything down and I just leave it. And when I do that, I get nothing in return but pure black, healthy soil. The grass, the weeds, everything get cut down and left there. And when it hits the ground and it dies and turns into like a gray, no, not a gray, a brownish kind of hay material, looks like straw. And and the trees just look pretty the next year, full of cherries, full of pears, and like that, and the raspberries and everything. And I'm just looking at that, going, look at that. And people don't know. And I'm trying to tell. Oh my God, I'm trying to get it across. I'm saying, look, listen. What I'm doing, I'm not buying anything for this stuff. I'm just putting down this weeds. And my neighbor next door, a nice lady, elderly person, she throws away all of her weeds and her grass. And I can't take it because I don't know if it's sprayed or not. But I do know that I don't throw mine away. I look at it now as an absolute blessing. You can keep your property. You can keep it up and keep it cut and keep it neat and all that. And when you get all that grass cutting, just take it over there and put it all around in the garden. No, you can put it in a compost pile if you want to. I said that is where I put the chips in my in that water pot. Yep. Let's see. Seems like black mold, and it also seems like maybe. I'll tell you one thing. I just want to thank all of y'all for stopping in here. I appreciate that. My goodness, people came in here today. It was 10 people in this room. This is our own private gardening show. It's our own private gardening show. And we don't let a lot of people in here. You got to be a certain kind of gardener to get in here. I'm just kidding. I just I think I'm gonna start calling it the private gardening show. Private. And that's where only people don't come in here is people that are already associated with coming in here. Others will come and look and say, let me see, can I get in there? And they'll click and they'll get right in here. And they'll get right in here. But it'll be our private gardening show where we show each other how to save money, how to grow this, and how to grow that quality. When you grow that quality food, oh my goodness. When you grow that quality food, that you don't have to spend a lot of money on these materials. Look at this right here. I always got this sitting on the side. I'm going to use this year. And y'all know what this is. Look at this. I got some more downstairs I'm getting ready to add to it. Look at that. This is eggshells. It's about 2 pounds worth. And oh, look at that. Whoa. See the smoke, folks? Look at that. Like a powder. Look at this. I don't want to breathe that in. I don't want. What happens if you get eggshell in your nose? You get a new camera. It seems your videos. Did you get a new camera? I saw your videos of tree removal. No, I didn't get a new camera. And I'm gonna tell you something about this camera. There it is right here. There's something wrong with it where the software is not up to date. It's not. I got right now. I'm recording. Yeah, I'm recording y'all in there. Yeah, what's going on there? The Morning Gardening Show. Yeah. But the problem with this is that even though I record, I can't download this into the computer so I can go in and mix and edited it and everything. So I'm gonna see what's going on. It's got to be a way to update the software. If not, I'll just get another camera. The eggshells are for one of the plants. One of the plants will be the tomatoes, but the eggshells are for the peppers. They for whatever I want to put them on. They eggshells. I mean, calcium. Um, Shoot, this is. I got a whole bunch of it downstairs that I ate some eggs this morning, and I got all these eggs down there in these cartons. And like I said, let them dry. And when you let them dry, put them in the food processor. Or not, well, you can use a food processor. I use a blender. You put them in the blender and grind them things down. Let them grind up like powder now. Don't have no chips in there. Ground them up, and you don't have to do anything but add them to your plastic bag like this. Look at that. That's heavy. That's heavy. That's about 2 pounds. That's eggs. Instead of throwing away the shells, wasting your money, use those shells to grow you some more food. When I cut my onions, I cut the bottom part off, put that in a little bit of water. When the roots start coming down through there like that, I take them outside and plant them throughout the garden. And when they come up, free onions. Why would I want to go to a company and buy onion plants when I'm buying onions at the store and I can cut them and when they grow up, when is the best time to purchase fruit trees? First, the best time is when you're heading into the fall because you can put the fruit trees in the ground. I say get the bare root trees. Trust me. And the smaller they are, the better they are. Don't get the ones that let them talk you. Oh, get these. They're 4 feet tall and they're ready to start producing. No, they're not. The younger trees are more adaptable. What I mean by that is there's less a chance of them dying. They take a bigger tree that's 4 feet tall, 5 feet tall. They got a site online called fastgrowingtrees.com. Do not buy from them if you haven't already. Don't buy from them. Those trees are way too expensive for no reason at all, other than that somebody will buy them, and that's why they're that expensive. I refuse to. And then they got the other tree place called a tie, whatever they call. You can't get nobody on the phone. Well, they don't went all to commercial sellers now, buyers. Yeah, commercial. They do commercials now, commercial. But the one I go to, and I'm looking for others, but the one I go to is Stock Brothers. High quality tree. Right now, Stock Brothers is selling bare root trees, but bare root trees is the best way to go. You bring it home, take the tree, soak it in some water for about 2 hours, 4 hours. Soak it in water. Let it get some water in it. Dig your little hole. Dig your hole in a square. Don't do it in a circle. Do it in a square. And put the tree in. Cover. Bada boom, bada bang. Do not fertilize the tree. Do not put down any compost in the tree. Do not do any of this crazy stuff that I see people do. Don't do that. Put it in the ground. Water it in real good. Don't tamp around it with your feet like you see people do. That tightens the soil up, makes it harder for the roots to move around. What you want to do is water it in real good, and all of the water will wash all the soil around the roots real good. And then you take that tree, put your foot up against it where your knee is, cut it off at a 45-degree angle. It will develop more scaffold branches at them points, and that way you have the tree all ready to go when it starts branching out. And it does look graphic when you cut it off, when you cut the tree right off. But I'm telling you, it's the best thing to do if you want them branches to be right in front of you the whole life of that tree, from the bottom to the top, for everything to be right in front of you. All my trees are done like that. All of them. I would not steer you wrong, folks. Let's see. I have some lemon trees, and they are doing well. Beautiful, beautiful. I like to hear that kind of news. I keep buying lemons because I can't grow them here. If they had a lemon that would live up here in Zone 7B, I would have 2, 3 lemon trees, maybe a lime tree, but I would definitely have because I like the taste of those kind of fruits. Let's see, my trees issues is boom, 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 boom. I'm loving this. People are coming in this room. Now I got 6 people in here. People dropped out. Boop, 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 boop. But it's okay. We have already talked now for almost an hour. And we have been on here. Everybody's been having some input. I say, if I found some, I would love that mulberry tree, but I definitely don't have space. Yeah, I got that mulberry tree in my yard. I don't know how many I got. I think I got one, maybe one or two of them. And they dropped them big. I tried eating them mulberries. I don't get it why people like about them. You know, they're not real sweet. They just grow every year, and when they grow, the birds love them, and they like to crap that stuff right on the top of a white car. They like a white car. They say, "Oh yeah," they do like that. They say, "Watch this, spoon, got it right on the windshield." And my lips will be purple all the time. She likes those mulberries. Me, I just can't do it. The cherries, I grow enough of them. I don't even know what to do with them. Yeah, the birds will get you with the purple poop. Yes, they will. They will get you. It's it. Got it. There we go. Told you not to park this car there. Got you. Um, so, folks, before we go off track, um, I'm glad that everybody's doing good in their garden. The only thing we're gonna keep going over and over sometime on the show is saving money. Because as we get to garden more, we should understand there's so many different ways we can save money, as opposed to always spending money. That's not the key to it, because some of our ancestry, they didn't do that. They had no big. There was no big box stores. Imagine that. You know, they were only place you can go. You can buy tools to work in the garden, but they everything was there on the property. Nothing like cold water. All right, good people, my family, let's get out of here. It's been real. It's been real good. I gave a show Monday at 6 p.m. I always try to give the show on Monday, 6 p.m. And I also like to give one on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Remember the times of the shows, folks. Remember those times. All right, this is the Morning Garden Show. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by. And let's do it again. Let's do it again. Peace and love all. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. And Miss Miller, thank you. I want to thank everyone for participating. Let's do it again. And remember, as I always say at the end of my show, let's keep on growing. This has been the Morning Gardener. Thank you very much.